Look, guys, it is what it is. I told you, I've said it for a while. We've said it for a while. Many have said it for a while that what's going to be of this Barcelona team without Messi, because you don't have anyone to paper over the cracks anymore. You don't have someone anymore that is going to kind of cover things up. Yeah, it is what it is. This is what they have. There is no more. I don't know why people want to make it more than it is when it's not. Okay? There is nothing else. This team is all there is. People are talking now about Roberto Martinez. Okay, great. You have to pay 1.8 million as a rescission clause, so you're going to spend even more money while paying a third coach, because the first one that you sacked over a year ago, you're trying not to pay, or trying to hold off that payment as much as possible, so you put him in court. Then you have to give Ronald Koeman his money. Then you have to give the Belgian FA money in the event that you do end up getting a Roberto Martinez, as they're saying. I don't know. I can't say one thing or the other. Maybe Andrea Pirlo, he would come for free. And then Xavi, of course, whatever. Look, I'm not a fan, nor do I play one on TV. And me coming off as one would be totally disingenuous. It would just not be sincere for you, to be quite honest. But the way I see it, if I were a fan, oh my God, I would be furious. I would be absolutely furious now, because at this point you start to see people that do not take accountability. I mean, hearing Ronald Koeman's press conference where he's basically excusing himself from everything that's gone on. No, that's not my fault. That hasn't. No. I have nothing to do with that. You got what you paid for, and Barca paid for that. They brought in Koeman knowing exactly what his track record was recently. Joaquin looks like a genius when he was talking about what he was saying when he was back in Valencia. He looks like a genius now. This is exactly what you're getting with Koeman. This is as far as Koeman can take you. So let's not kid ourselves. It's not going to get any better with him. So whether he stays until tomorrow, until next week, until 2 weeks, until a month, whatever, this is as good as it gets. The thing is that people get excited over a result, and they got excited over the result against Levante, which is fine. I mean, look, they showed, but that's one context. It's only within the league and within the teams that are below them. They can probably beat those teams. But when you start to face the upper echelon teams, how do you react? How do you end up playing? How do you end up performing? That's a different story there. When you get to champions, well, we see it. No goals in 2 games. First time in 20 years that they're about to get knocked out of the group stage. They'll probably end up in the Europa League for the first time since 2003, 2004. You can blame Bartomeu all you want, but at this point you start to look at it, and Laporta also has his share of blame now. He's the one that came out and said, losses are paid for with consequences. There's consequences to losing. So, okay, what are the consequences? What are you going to do? What do you do? You're not going to smack Ronald Koeman in the hand, are you? What are you going to do? You're going to sack him? With money? How do you compensate him? How do you get rid of him? Keep in mind all that cap money, or the amount of money that Barca can spend. Those are the limitations they have, and nobody talks about that. There's very set limitations that Barcelona can manage to. There's very little wiggle room, I guess I could say. Nobody mentions that. On the pitch, man, they're horrible. They're horrible. I mean, look, maybe not, I shouldn't say horrible. There are moments where they looked impressed. They could go and attack Benfica. But it's Benfica. I mean, we're not talking about the Benfica of the 1960s with Eusebio and company. This Benfica is a far cry from that. And that's been the big problem. That in this competition, they've been outclassed. Well, I want to see how things are when they play Dinamo. That's when, if they get a draw against Dinamo, then you really go into panic mode. then you really go into panic mode. Because they end the group stage playing against Bayern Munich in Munich. If there's a team that would want blood, it's them. Benfica might be able to get a point. You might end up beating them. Okay, fine. The return leg against Dinamo might be a different story as well. You can get you can get 6 out of 6 against Dinamo, maybe 4 out of 6, yeah. But then after that, where do you get the points from? Again, Ronald Koeman's been very dismissive, and you start to see it, with his statements. But his team doesn't help him at all. I mean, with that type of defending, please let me get slaughtered. Because that's one of the themes you heard after the game. Oh, we the coach doesn't deserve to be sacked. We back him. With that type of how you played, please don't back me that way. Please do not back me. And there needs to be more accountability. I mean, you see Gerard Piqué more worried about his Twitch and his Davis Cup, and being the president of Andorra. And I mean, you can't even say he worries about Shakira at this point. She's not even a priority, much less the football team. But those other, entrepreneurial investments that he's undergone. That's what he's more worried about now. Barcelona is not even a priority for him anymore, and it looks it. Poor, Ronald Araujo, who's basically playing a backline of one, with Eddie Garcia, who's just utter dreck. And he's pretty bad. No wonder Manchester City let him go so easily. Serginho Dest going forward is pretty good. Going back is absolute garbage. I still laugh at that. Some Brazilian dude that was talking about Serginho Dest being the next Dani Alves. I mean, I shouldn't be so harsh on Serginho Dest. I mean, he's playing a different position, mind you, a different position where he's playing better than he was playing when he was playing at right back. But defensively, oh my God, he's horrid. He's horrid. He should at least, if you're going to play him, and I'm not saying that he's a horrid player, I'm just saying he's playing horridly, very badly at left back, or he played pretty poor at left back today. If you're going to play him at left wing, or he really doesn't have to have, if he's going to have to defend, he has to defend what's in front of him, not what's behind him. If anything, have him play out wide. Have him kind of, be able to go on the attack a little bit more. Frankie de Jong maybe is probably one of the few that you can forgive. Ansu Fati's just coming back from an injury. Memphis, yeah, all right, maybe him too. You could forgive him. Luke de Jong is a waste. It's a pretty poor team.